The thousands of truckers who formed a convoy and drove to the Canadian capital to protest draconian COVID laws represent more than just a protest movement. They're part of a revolution against tyranny, a tyranny being committed by people who claim to stand for liberal values. There is a real problem with liberalism at the moment, and that problem is that the people in power who call themselves liberals are fast becoming totalitarian. It's Animal Farm in action, isn't it? Justin Trudeau, a man who claims to be woker than woke, well, we all remember him saying it's people kind, don't we? Not mankind, for example. Yet this is a man who's worn blackface and who is very comfortable running roughshod over his population's civil liberties. All in the name, of course, of being kind. Not content with banning the unvaccinated from public transport and working in federal departments, he's forcing truckers travelling between the US and Canada to quarantine. And he called the protesters a small fringe minority. Yet when the convoy arrived in Ottawa, he and his family fled and went into hiding. It's either something much larger than a fringe movement, or he's the kind of man who legs it from a small group of protesters. And if it's the latter, I'm not sure he's the kind of person that you'd want leading your country, is he? I've been amazed at the media coverage, or should I say lack of it. The BBC has a report online right now with the headline, "Truckers Cause Chaos." I don't remember seeing those kind of headlines of the largely peaceful protests in America, where there was looting, buildings set on fire, and full-blown riots. It's not just the ultra-authoritarian rules being brought in by the supposedly liberal leaders. It's also the campaign of demonisation against people who hold different beliefs to them. It's Soviet-esque. And it's not just Canada. Jacinda Ardern in New Zealand holds herself up as this uber-liberal, yet she's behaved, in my opinion, like a tin pot dictator drunk on power. New Zealand has had some of the harshest lockdowns. She seems gleeful, kind of maniacally so, really, at press conferences, as she says that the unvaccinated will essentially not be allowed to do anything. She's even in the process of banning cigarettes, for goodness sake. New Zealanders are now not allowed to travel back to their home country to see their families in some cases. And on top of that, an unvaccinated pregnant journalist has been forced to seek help from the Taliban, in Afghanistan, because Ardern won't let her come home. Charlotte Bellis discovered that she was pregnant a short time after gaining international attention in 2021 for questioning Taliban leaders about their treatment of women and girls. She's due to give birth in May. Well, giving birth in Afghanistan can often be a death sentence in itself, can't it? Frankly, given the country has one of the highest maternal mortality rates, I should say, in the world, and so can living under the Taliban. It's a deadly scenario all round, isn't it? Something is seriously wrong here. Joe Biden's another one. This super progressive guy is also content with totalitarian COVID laws and swearing at members of the free press. The European Union, supposedly this fluffy bastion of democracy, is also content with many of its member states bringing in mandatory jabs and never-ending cycles of lockdowns and much, much more. But people are waking up. It's not just the Canadian truckers, it's people all over the world. They're waking up to the Orwellian reality that just because their leaders might drape themselves in a rainbow flag, claim to be radical feminists, take the knee and say they're woke defenders of human rights and all things good in the world, doesn't mean they actually are. Sometimes, in fact, they're the very opposite of that.